Shri Radha Govinda Dev Ki Jai. Jai Sri Ram. Today's session of storytelling is really special because Ram Navami, the celebration of the birth of Lord Sri Ram, is either coming or is already here, depending upon where you are in the world. So for the next 2 days, I'll be sharing stories from the life of Lord Ram. Today's story is one that I've adapted from the epic Ramayana, which details the events that happened and the beautiful pastimes of the life of Lord Ram. And I'm so excited that I don't even want to talk about it much. I just want to share it with you. This story is called Disguised. Hanuman ignored the strange feeling of tree branches scraping against bare skin and reminded himself for the 1000th time to slow down. His disguise would never work if he didn't act the part, and he was on a mission. Adding a small limp for good measure, Hanuman ambled closer to the two strangers. He was sure he had never seen them before. But something deep within Hanuman, beneath his disguised exterior, past the Vanara, the celestial beast which sometimes ruled his nature, somewhere deep, near Hanuman's very soul and the core of his being, something awoke. He felt as though this were the most important mission of his life to date. They looked the part of forest dwellers, but their broad chests and well-built arms, crisscrossed with bowstring marks, spoke of their Kshatriya nature. Also, walking as they were, with their bows in hand, seemed to give them away. Hanuman stifled a smile at their thinly veiled deception, but then again, he was not what he seemed, either. Crossing their path, Hanuman decided it was finally time to find out who these handsome men were. Sirs, Hanuman had planned an elaborate speech, but found that speech itself fled in the face of whoever it was that stood before him. His lustrous skin was a dusky green like durva grass, a hue which called to Hanuman's woodland nature and made him feel as though he had somehow found a piece of home. His brown eyes saw deep into Hanuman's soul. Hanuman was sure of it. And even as Hanuman trembled in response, he found that he didn't feel as though he were in danger. In fact, he had never felt safer. Hanuman had protected everyone around him for as long as he could remember, but it felt as though this one person was finally able to protect him. Who was he? Hanuman must have mumbled the question aloud because the stranger was answering. And his voice called to Hanuman, called to every instinct that Hanuman had and made him want to serve. Made him want to lay his head at the stranger's feet and offer up his very life. I am Ram, son of the illustrious King Dasarath. I have been traveling through the forest with my brother Lakshman. The rest of the story was lost on Hanuman. He didn't need to hear it. He knew it. Hanuman knew him. He stared at the two brothers mutely, joy blooming in his heart and tears springing to his eyes. The overwhelming tide of devotion, awe, and love slammed into Hanuman, and he rocked back on his feet. He had been waiting for this moment. Hanuman? Ram looked at Hanuman with a knowing smile, and like shaking off excess water, Hanuman shed his disguise, the air around him rippling for just the blink of an eye as he breathed back into his true form. He pressed his hands together and bowed his head. My lord, I am yours. His voice was quiet, choked as it was with his own unshed tears, but Hanuman was absolutely sure that Sri Ram had heard him. After all, his lord heard all, even those things which were unspoken. Hanuman sank to his knees and simply gazed at Sri Ram's feet. He had almost missed this opportunity. He had almost let the two travelers go on their way. He would have missed the chance of a lifetime. Sri Ram raised Hanuman gently, and Hanuman was met with the Lord's effulgent smile. But there was something Hanuman had to know. "My Lord, from the moment I knew myself, I have been serving you. My entire being is meant for your service. My heart, my soul, all of me would know you anywhere. How is it that I didn't recognize you on sight? How could I have missed you?" Ram's smile grew. "You came to see me in disguise, so I met you in disguise. I reciprocate the way I am approached, but our true natures couldn't hide from one another for long." His explanation sounded so matter-of-fact, so simple, but Hanuman had felt it. It was as though all of him had suffered from some sort of emotional memory loss, but now he had regained the treasure of his life. He would never lose it again. "My Lord, how can I serve you?" Such a simple sentence, but with those words, Hanuman surrendered his entire life, and looking into the glorious face of Sri Ram, he knew he would continue to do so for all of eternity. This story calls to mind for me the many places in the Bhagavad Gita where Sri Krishna, who is no different than Lord Ram, says that as we surrender to him, he reciprocates with us. As we approach him, he reciprocates with us. As we give to him, he gives right back to us. And it makes me think of all of the times that I have hidden myself. I've disguised myself. I have intentionally ignored myself and parts of my spiritual journey. And in doing so, I have forced him to hide himself from me. I have forced Krishna to hide and disguise and keep quiet so many times because I just haven't approached him as genuinely as I possibly could. And I want to encourage us all to take a look at those parts of ourselves that we have hidden and kept in the dark, those parts that we are afraid to look at, those parts that we are afraid to even give name to. Because if we think of it this way, it's like having a dark room in the house that you are afraid of. If you never go into that room, you'll always remain afraid. But if you go into the room, if you turn on a light, if you shed light on the area and you examine what's really in that room, you might see that there was nothing to be afraid of at all. It's the same with us. If we don't take a moment to actually look at the places within ourselves that we are afraid of, ashamed of, guilty of, the places that cause us some pain and discomfort, if we don't look at those places and identify them and then surrender them to our Krishna, if we don't allow him to shed the light of his blessings and his mercy on those aspects of ourselves, how can we expect to heal and grow on our spiritual journey? How can we expect to know our Krishna on a deeper, more intimate level if we don't offer ourselves up on a deeper and more intimate level? So, because we are quarantined, because we are facing a situation of lockdown, I feel as though at this time there's nowhere else to go. There is nowhere to hide. We are going to be facing things about ourselves. Things are going to come up because there is not enough busyness in the world to keep all of this hidden. So drop the disguise. Don't hide it anymore. Just take one aspect, and you don't have to share it with anybody else, but just surrender it to our dearmost friend, and look at how he reciprocates with his mercy and his blessings and his love and his acceptance and his compassion. Look at the things that you are afraid of about yourself, as I will be doing, and know that we are stronger than that. We are more powerful than that. We are bigger than the things that scare us about ourselves. We are big enough to face that. I know this because Krishna loves us, and Krishna says that we are bigger than all of that. We have his divine support, we have his divine encouragement, and we can face those hard parts. So there is a poem meditation at the end of this story that I want to share with you all before I leave you. O Govinda, how many lifetimes have I been hiding from you, claiming that I am fine, boasting that I can do life on my own? How long have I been hiding what I am from you? And because I hide from you, I have forced you to hide yourself from me. I have forced you to watch as I stumble through countless obstacles, afraid and seemingly alone, all the while claiming that I didn't need you. What have I done? My love, forgive me. This disguise is useless. It has only hurt me. I have been pretending, but now it's over. I now want to be me. Really, truly me. I want to be what I really am. Yours. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow for another storytime session. Jai Sri Ram, Jai Shri Radha Govinda.